I better go. The timer gets going. Hello, everybody. How are you guys doing, huh? So I'm going to ask you a couple of questions since we're just getting back there, and it's just a little, interaction. How many of you have your cell phone on you right now? How many of you? So raise your hand. Raise your hand. I know pretty much everybody does. Mine's in my pocket. All right. How many of you can access your bank account if you just wanted to do a quick balance check right now? Raise your hand. Most of you can. I like that. How many of you could be able to access a wallet, so like a mobile wallet for Ether or Bitcoin, like a Jack's wallet? How many of you could do that? Raise your hand. All right, one last question. How many of you could access your full medical record on your mobile phone right now if you needed to? You all traveled here. A couple of you can. Some people can. Maybe like 2 or 3 out of the audience. That's what we want to change. That's what we're trying to do with AMCHART, our universal medical record. And like I was introduced, my name is Aman Quadri. I'm the CEO of AMSYS Blockchain and Cryptocurrency. We're part of a larger group known as the AMSYS Group. We've been around for 15 years developing projects in different technology spaces. AMSYS Group itself was started by our chairman and CEO, Ken Parekh, in 2003. And over time, he developed it from $200 in his pocket to now over a $50 million company that's debt-free. And our goal in life is to use technology for the betterment of the people that we serve. And so that's what we decided to do in healthcare, because that's my background. And so I wanted to use that as my purpose. And so I originally came to AMSYS Group in 2010 after a small little segment in career owning my own, kind of a tech company before the dot-com bust, which I sold. Then I pivoted and I shifted into healthcare because that's where my family business was at. So I became a physical therapist and eventually earned my master's and doctorate degree in physical therapy, but then felt the need to kind of get back into the tech space. And so in 2010, Ken Parekh and I combined to create a healthcare division of AMSYS Group where we serviced medical practitioners. They always had difficulty with access to data, access to their medical records, and of course being able to share that information. And those are the same things we heard. And some of these things may be issues that you've had. How many of you have been to a doctor where you filled out the paperwork and he refers you to another doctor, but you have to fill out the same paperwork again? How many times have you actually been able to take a loved one or family member or child to one doctor's office on a referral, but you can't tell them the last diagnostic tests that have happened? You can't tell them what medications they're on because you don't have that stuff readily accessible to you. And that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to solve those issues because it is a big problem, not only in the United States, but across the globe with equal access to health records themselves. So these are some of the divisions that AMSYS Group actually currently is involved with, and we do different technologies in all these spaces. And allows us to be able to hone in some of our developers for the projects that we want to work on. And one of the ones that's missing out of there is blockchain and cryptocurrency, which is our newest division that started about 1.5 years ago. And what we've done is we've taken some of our best and brightest minds and just pivoted them over to what we want to accomplish in the healthcare space. And since I came from healthcare and I've become the CEO of blockchain and cryptocurrency, guess what I get to do? I get to solve a healthcare problem, which I've seen for a long, long time. And so at its core, AMSYS itself has really 3 cool features. One is the electronic health record itself. And if we didn't do anything else but that, I think we'd accomplish a lot. But we wanted to figure out a way to actually take the data that we get from individuals and utilize it in a different manner. So we wanted to create a portable, accessible, reliable medical record that can carry. Many of you have traveled from a long distance just to come here. Imagine if you were out swimming or had an accident or something and you went to the medical facility. Could you be able to give them your data when it's necessary so they can make the quick decision-making that doctors need to make to provide you the best care? And so currently what we've done is we've developed a secure, compliant, HIPAA-based model that's patient-centric and incentivize those patients for health and wellness. Wellness is going to be a big part of our program. And of course, we wanted to create portability and improve the consolidation for medical records from different providers. Again, that whole issue of being able to travel from one doctor to another, we want to be able to solve. So there's 3 features. One, like I said, is the medical record itself. 2 is our mobile application. Our mobile application is designed with integrated IoT wearables, meaning if you take your Fitbit, your Apple Watch, or now we've even integrated other things such as a blood pressure monitor, a scale, glucometer, even ECG to measure your heart rhythm. All that vital sign data can not only go into your mobile app, but also gets ported into your electronic health record itself. So what happens is when a doctor opens this medical record at any point in time, he gets the latest information, all right? But we wanted to take it even one step further. Now what we're doing is we're starting to gather patient data, your lab work, your diagnostic tests, your blood work, social, medical, family history, and now our machine learning AI engine platform can now be proactive in your health. Say, for instance, it starts to notice that you're reaching pre-diabetes or pre-hypertension. It can alert your doctor to be able to contact you so you can get on programs so you don't actually have those disease processes become a reality. And then, of course, we're developing our relationships with different clinics and pharmacies and providers. So where do we currently stand? Well, our MVP is actually running on the testnet and will be released to the public, hopefully in the next few weeks, so that you can try it out and see how it works. So you can put your basic patient data on there. And so we're pretty excited about that because it's running very smooth and very securely right now. And then the second part of it is our mobile application. Our mobile application is about 85% developed with all of our IoT integrations already completed. So if you wanted to come by our booth, I could even show you our app. I'm not wearing my Fitbit today, but it'll port that information directly into it. So here's a couple of screenshots of what we're doing. We're actually using UPort for our identity management just because it's easier for patients to be able to access it through that way. And so once you get into the system, it'll actually take you to your patient dashboard, which shows you how many tokens that you have available in the system for access of the medical record, and then it'll port you into your actual basic medical record itself. Our goal with this, we want to be able to make it so that any elderly person or a person that has difficulty using technology can utilize the system, because if they can, then it's going to be easy for us younger generation can do it as well. And then here's pictures of our mobile app. Same thing, we wanted to make the buttons easy. So, we can set up your goals, we can set up your connected devices, we can even do video visits or telemedicine visits through our app so that a doctor can be proactive with your healthcare and contact you before you end up having to go to a hospital or ER visit. So this is kind of our matrix itself. How does it work? So a patient comes into our system and sets up a medical record. And our ERC20 token gives you timed access to your medical record. And the first 2 years of timed access is given to you for free. Everything for the patient is given to them, and they're incentivized for that. So you build a medical record, you receive some tokens in your bank. If you decide to maintain your medical record on a regular basis, again, you receive tokens. You add in something like goals associated with your doctor. Let's say you need to get your blood pressure down, and you take your blood pressure regularly for a 2-week period. Again, you awarded tokens. As you build up this data, there's going to be data foundry companies, such as pharmaceutical companies and research institutions that also want to have access to that data for research purposes, correct? So if you give access to your permission data, again, you earn tokens. And so this token bank gets built up. And again, one thing it does is it gives you access to our medical record, but the second thing it does is it allows you to have the chance to do a couple of different things. One, patients aren't really going to get on an exchange very often. That's difficult for them, all right? So what we want to do is be able to give them an alternative to actually use their token value. So what we've done is we partner with blockchain loyalty companies to allow them to be able to port their value into their system so that they can redeem it for airline miles or gift cards or travel, something that they could benefit from. And providers and payers benefit because if we're keeping people out of the hospitals or clinics, it saves them money and allows for increased reimbursement to patients, to providers themselves. So the executive team consists of myself, Choka Palingvutai, who's developed several EHR blockchain initiatives in the past for the government, and then Ken Parekh, who's our chairman and CEO. We have about 15 developers worldwide who are working on this. In fact, we're adding 2 more blockchain developers this week. And then currently, we are in our token sales status. So in November, we decided to do a friends and family and current client raise. And what we found was that because of our relationships in the past, we were able to raise $22 million just around the Houston area alone. That's where we're based, all right? And so that's what we did. And now we started being able to unveil ourselves over the last few weeks to basically to the blockchain community. And so we're offering a 25% discount, and our pre-sale will close on February 15th. And then we'll start our public sale March 1st, where we're actually accepting Bitcoin, Ether, and NEO. And then, of course, we're doing the same thing that everybody else does as far as being able to be on Twitter and Telegram and all those channels. But our goal for it is that we want to create a token-based incentivized system that gets patient first. And the other thing we want to do is we want everybody to realize that even though you see this chart and how we're going to delineate our tokens, in here, no founder, no executive, no anybody on our teams get tokens or money out of it. We're just paying for the development, and we're actually building out a public blockchain that we're going to give to the community as our gift to them. Because what we want people to realize is the money doesn't really matter to us because we've been a successful company. What matters to us is changing the way healthcare is serviced here and throughout the world. That's our goal, because I feel like that is one of the biggest problems we have. And so currently we're working, we're not only here in the United States, but with ministries in the Middle East and Asia who want to be able to pilot this program for us. So this is my information. This is my personal cell number, my personal email address, where you can find us. So come talk to me. If you have any questions at all, I'll be more than happy to share all the details about this. Thank you.